Rewind a handful of years back to 14-year-old me and my best friend at the time. We had the kind of dynamic that when you started laughing, it would get progressively worse until your belly was shaking and your lungs were begging for air. This is relevant because while we were enjoying the warm, really bright, sunny afternoon, we heard something that made us instantly go dead silent. As we were laughing in a fit of hysteria, suddenly a very clear male voice laughed what sounded like behind us. Bear with me here if you don't believe in ghosts, because this is just half of the story. I remember it was so loud, gruff, and just... You don't hear that every day, you know? We turned to each other slowly, eyes wide, then burst out in laughter so hard I almost tipped backward in the kitchen chair. It scared us so much that we couldn't contain how funny it was to see each other be scared shitless. For a long time, we told that story of the random giggling ghost we heard, but it turned much more grim in my head as I began to realize the full nature of that day. So now, fast forward a couple of years. Honestly, this part is what creeps me out about this. It's now about 2022. I'm 16. My mom and my stepdad had noticed that odd things were going on in our boiler room behind our house. For one, we didn't have a lock that properly functioned on the door, so they would go back there to the door sometimes being fully swung open, light on. Over time, they noticed things being moved around, trash being left in the room, and at times, even needles. We discovered that before our stay there, it was a major drug house. I'm sure you've already begun to paint a picture of what went on that day when my friend and I were goofing off. If not, I'll paint the map. In the kitchen where we sat, we heard the disembodied voice coming from behind us, but it sounded faint enough to be from another room. The boiler room was on the other side of the wall next to the kitchen table. All in all, we quite literally might not have been alone that day, which to me is scarier than it being a ghost. To this day, I have no idea who was in the boiler room listening to us chat about school, boys, anime, and other random nonsense. You could hear absolutely everything from that room, as I'd been out there before. Conversations inside sound clear as day. This was followed by a number of instances over the years where I'd be alone in the kitchen late at night between 12 a.m. and 4 a.m. and hear scuffles coming from seemingly nowhere. Just movement. Like someone moving around or moving things around. There is a chance it could have been paranormal, but I kind of doubt it. The laugh was so loud, it literally just sounded like a man in the other room. I laugh about this now, but now I realize how dangerous this situation was. We were completely alone that day with some random, maybe even violent person in the other room. A complete stranger. The boiler room man. Anyways, keep your doors locked, guys.